For 20 years out of his 43, Adrian Forde has been an active community worker. I tell you before, he's put his hand in his own pocket in order to make sure that people have a chance to start a business. He is not a wealthy man, but he's a caring man. He's a compassionate man. He's a dedicated man. Adrian Forde has sat with elderly women after dispensing medication to them to make sure that they don't have an allergic reaction. He is the only pharmacist I know of in Barbados with that dedication, with that care, with that compassion, that dedication to service, that commitment to humanity, that integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, he teaches young people to drive. He takes his Saturday and his Sunday and he lifts up the young people. He is to be found in every community, working with the sporting teams, helping to develop the sporting teams, helping to uplift the sporting teams, helping to finance the sporting teams, training youngsters in different disciplines. Ladies and gentlemen, as I tell you, his mission, his purpose, his dedication is the redefining of parliamentary representation. There is unequivocally an illness in this constituency. But you need not worry. There is a medic coming to the rescue. There is a medic coming to help you. There is a medic walking among you. There is a medic who will be supporting you. A medic committed to community development. A medic with a proud record of 2 decades of community service. A medic who does not fail to put his hand in his pocket to help the underprivileged, to help the needy, to help those who need genuine assistance. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you go, the elderly tell you that he has been there for him. The elderly tell you he has lifted them up. The elderly tell you he's walked with them. He's touched them. He has worked with our young people in sports. He's worked with our young people in the arts. He's worked with our young people in culture. I want you to let him come through. I beg you, let him come through. Don't hold back the process. Don't hold back the train. I know that you love him. I know you want to dance with him. Don't kiss him. Oh, Lord, don't kiss him here now. Let him come through. Let him come through. Adrian, come to your people. Adrian, come to your people. Come to your people, star. Come and talk with your people. They love you. This is the man who will put Ronald, this is the man who will put Lashley out of Parliament. This is the man who will end the political career of little Hitler. This is the man who will save you from having to watch a minister prance about in high heel shoes. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you my friend. I bring you my colleague. I bring you your next parliamentary representative. I ask you to give him a warm and rousing welcome, Adrian Medic Forde.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night, Christchurch, West Central. Medic to the rescue. The Barbados Labour Party to the rescue. Mia Armour Motley to the rescue. Before I go to the heart of my discourse tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say a special thanks. First of all, let me thank Mr. Kerry Simmons for that vivacious introduction. There's no better speaker in the world than Kerry Simmons. I want to say thanks to none other than Puffy, who is responsible and has been responsible for my speeches for the better part of 3 years. I thank you, Puffy. And to my management team and to all the medics of Christchurch West Central, I thank you. This is a very serious night. I also want to thank my colleagues tonight, Dr. William Dugade, who have continued and will do good for the people of Christchurch West. I thank you, Dr. Dugade. I want to give thanks also to Wilfred Abrams, a man who is going to bring Christchurch East from the lowest representation since adult suffrage. I also want to give thanks to Ryan Strong, who don't have to learn economics on the job, and who has the plan in place to rescue, restore, and rebuild Christchurch East Central. I also want to give a special thanks to my friend and my comrade and my neighbor, Ralph Thorne. Ralph doesn't have a plan of action. Ralph has an action plan for the people of Christchurch South. And the answer to the ills in the South Coast does not involve the indifference of jumping into excrement, not by any stretch of imagination. Not Ralph Thorne, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to give also a special thanks to the guy, none other than Shawnee, who pinned my song tonight, Medic, and Medic to the rescue. Ladies and gentlemen, as I walked up to the stage, I saw a sign. One more day is too long, Frandel. One more day is too long. I am saying tonight, ladies and gentlemen, one more hour is too long, Frandel. 1 more minute is too long, Frandel. 1 more second is too long, Frandel. Call the election. Let the Barbados Labour Party rescue and restore and rebuild this country, man. I am saying to you tonight, and I want your people to have patience. It is the 6th of June. That is the day of reckoning. Ray Plaza by saying, you can do me anything you like. Anyhow you like, but baby, not as long as you like. The people of this country will have a voice, and it will happen before the 6th of June. But don't try to get in my head, man. Because I believe that on the left-hand side of the man's brain, there is nothing right. And on the right-hand side, there is something wrong. I honestly believe that, man. This Democratic Labour Party have the temerity to come and tell Barbadians they have done a good job. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ask them to open their report card on what they have done since 2008, all you will get is a big F. A F for failure, a F for fat because that's all they have gotten out the public's purse, and an F for flippancy because that is how they have treated to the issues of ordinary Barbadians. And the only answer that they can give you, and the only retort to when Barbadians ask them about their stewardship is to attack the Barbados Labour Party on morality. I want to know, and they get a couple consecrated individuals to rock up and down behind them and jump on a bandwagon and talking about the moral issue of the Barbados Labour Party and the soul of the Barbados Labour Party. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you tonight, When Chris asked June Fowler as she was about to push cat, where was the moral standards then? Where was the morality then? And when Ronald Jones can say that haze will burst in this country, I want to know where was the morality and the soul of the Democratic Labour Party then? Then when you have Steve Blackett proclaiming that blood will run in the streets of this country, I want to know where was the morality then? But it gets worse. We had a prime minister on International Women's Day, on the week of International Women's Day, questioning the fortitude of a lady by the name of Liz Thompson. And I call her a lady because he want to know why she's called a lady and she should be called a woman. Where is the morality then? Where is the soul of the Democratic Labour Party then? Because my mother, Jane Forde, she's probably watching now, but I'm going to tell you something. If I didn't have respect for a lady, ladies and gentlemen, I would not be the person I am today. And there are ladies in every single sphere in Barbados. There are ladies across the political divide, and I will refer to all of them as ladies. But the moral standard of any government is how you treat to the most vulnerable in this country. That is the moral standard of any government. How you treat to the most vulnerable. Those in the dawn of their lives. These are the young people, ladies and gentlemen. You see a lot of them in the crowd tonight. How the Democratic Labour Party treat the young people in this country. And I am going to say today, they have disappointed the young people of this country. They have disappointed the young people of this country, and they have destroyed not only the young people, but the unborn child as well, ladies and gentlemen. And that is the reason, ladies and gentlemen, why I am here today. I am here because I understand the pain and suffering that you feel, and I am here to champion your cause. Born and raised in Sergeant's Village. And I say Sergeant's Village, no pun on the word village, because it was a village. Sergeant's Village, the village raised me. And the reason why the village was so successful is because the village saw itself as a family. And a village may not raise a child, but a family and an extended family can raise a child. And that's why I'm here standing today. So it was imbued in me from a young man, that special desire to look after the most vulnerable in this country and the marginalized and be the voice for the voiceless. Ladies and gentlemen, and I have to thank some people today. The likes of Crazy, ladies and gentlemen, everybody know Crazy, who was instrumental in my life. You had Chernell and Ricky Boom, also in Sergeant's Village. You have people like Coach and Emmy. All those persons were instrumental in my development. And none other than Puffy Reed, everybody knows him. Because a village can raise a child if a village feels that it is a family. And I went to school, ladies and gentlemen, just north of here at Vauxhall School. With the likes of Shaka, I went to school with persons like Forde. I went with Derek. And those are persons in this constituency, as I speak, that have lent outstanding contributions to this constituency. And ladies and gentlemen, I decided to open my office because I always believe that I have to give a contribution to this same constituency. So in the apex of the constituency, there is a care pharmacy. The air care pharmacy is at the apex there to serve the constituents. And I provide the social necessary services, not about money. It is about taking care of the most vulnerable in this society. That is what representation is about. And the General Secretary of the Barbados Labour Party is not here. But I can tell you that my DNA is entrenched across the left and breadth of Christchurch West Central. I have never written a letter to this party saying that I want to go anywhere. I have never written a letter stating that I want to run in St. Joseph Dale, although I feel like I marshaled a couple of votes in Fruitful Hill. I have never asked to go in St. Andrew, George, Mr. Sherman, sir. Although I know Gabriel, and I know that Biggles, and I know that Vauncey, and a couple fellas will give me the vote. You don't have to be frightened, George. And last but not least, I never wrote a letter stating that I would love to go to St. John. Charles, I don't want to be beaten twice. Charles got down there locked down, man. I am here to stay. My never string was buried in Sargent's village, and I will die in this constituency, ladies and gentlemen. I do not plan to go anywhere. And I don't purport to be a political teleporter of sorts. You can find me in the constituency. You don't have to ease through the TV to see me. My name is not Mr. Paparazzi. I am not a TV character. That is not my style. I go on the ground where the people are and interact with them to try to help transform their lives. That is what I do on a daily basis. I spend every waking moment of my life thinking about how I can help develop this constituency, how I can empower the young people and transform their lives so they can become true craftsmen of their faith. That is what I do, ladies and gentlemen, and that is who I am.
Two. Check.
And so it gave birth to what I call, and I have to thank my team of social scientists, man, to what I call the WE program. Not only, I don't want you to only think about the inclusive word WE, which represents all of us as Barbadians. WE, the acronym, work, empowerment, and entrepreneurship. And along with that, we conceptualize a project called Project Hope. Helping our people every day, because that's what I believe this Barbados needs. We need to be able to help our brothers and sisters as a family, ladies and gentlemen. And so, I move with every sinew of my being to ensure that the young people have an opportunity to create their own destiny in this country. That's what I did. And so, we had the birth of Medic Freighting, a company, ladies and gentlemen, started by two youngsters, Bling in Paris. There should be somebody in the crowd knocking around. Bling in Paris. And you know, as I speak today, these youngsters have taken that business. They work their butt off in the business, and they have taken that business where they are operating under 2 contracts now, and they are expanding because they are employing persons in the constituency. That is what development is about. That is representation. And further down the line, because I had an intention to carry it through the left and breadth of Christ Church West Central. And further down, you have Raphael's Barbershop. And I can tell you something, he had to be good because he cut Granville Phillips, he cut Granville Carter here, and he ain't complain like Passion, he's a blind man. But he's down a little further in Silver Hill. We got a young man by the name of Rough House, ladies and gentlemen. And I am proud today to see that they had a block called the Wrong Turn. Today, it is the right turn, ladies and gentlemen, because that block has a business called the House of Deals, ladies and gentlemen, which is responsible for all the major promotions in Barbados. Rough House himself managed by a group of youngsters from the block. It is my desire, ladies and gentlemen, to change all the blocks in this constituency into self-sufficient centers. Christchurch, West Central must be the most self-sufficient constituency in Barbados. That is my dream. And we can do it by putting our hands to the plow. We ain't gonna do it by fancy talk. We ain't gonna do it by the Humpty Dumpty movements on TV. We do it because we understand what it takes to empower people and change their lives. That's why we're gonna do it. But further down the constituency in Vauxhall, we now start another barbershop. And Ryan, that barbershop, I give you my commitment, will be completed before month end. So you'll be able to service the residents in Vauxhall, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm saying, there must be a developmental plan. We must, in this Barbados, we must see the transformation of communities and see how it ties in to the economy. And Ryan, you, I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan has the economic plan for this country. I am sure I can tell you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan is not mathematically dyslexic. Ryan understands that 80% is greater than 20%. And he understands how to bring this country from the economic morass it faces. But most importantly, there is an oasis of talent in this constituency that we need to tap into. And I am going to say that the residents, there is no better innovative spirit than the young people. The untapped potential of the young people, ladies and gentlemen, need to be explored in Barbados in order to raise this country from the economic morass it faces. And I'm saying this Barbados Labour Party, under the leadership of me and Mama Martley, we are going to tap into this potential. So Mark, who is interested in renewable energy, ladies and gentlemen, and who lives in Silver Hill, I am telling you today, we are going to put the muscle behind your project. You have a dream to be able to capture solar energy and turn it into renewable energy for electric cars, and we can make your dream come true. There's also a discussion where he plans to store this energy and send it overseas for the foreign investment. That is the vision that this young man, an engineer from Trinidad, has, not only for his constituency, but for Barbados. And that is the untapped talent that I'm talking about. And Jamar, who is at the beach right now, probably picking up conch shells to sell tomorrow morning to the tourists, you're probably playing a better role and a more important role than me in Barbados, because you are bringing foreign exchange to this country. And you're not using any active principles from overseas to make your product. It's a naturally occurring product. We have to be able to invest on our natural resources as a means of foreign investment and foreign exchange. And that is how we are going to drive this country. And I'm saying to the people of Christchurch, West Central, Barbados can only be better if you yourself live above your means and be better. And that's why I am here to champion your cause and be the crusader for all those persons who don't have a voice. And that is why I come to public life, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not easy by any stretch of imagination. But you have to have the heart and the soul for it. But the moral standard also speaks to the disabled community. I have a number of disabled people in my constituency, ladies and gentlemen. Granville Carter will tell you. And I spend a lot of my waking day with them. You have none other than Anthony, ladies and gentlemen. We have Michelle at the top of Silver Hill. We have persons, and I will never forget two shoes. By the time we finish with him and his project, he will be wearing 3 shoes. But we have a number of persons who are disabled in this country. I don't know if any of you all ever take a a tour of the visually impaired center just there in YMCA. The amount of talent, Granville can trust me, and I say it with my own two eyes. Granville can can a share with the eyes shut, although he blind. And the mops that they make, trust me, those mops stay up for months. But I want, Granville, for you to keep back 6 mops for me because they got some mopping out to do. And the mopping out can start short here in Briar Hall. There is time, ladies and gentlemen, to get rid of this what I call a political nomad. A man who has no interest in this constituency. I call him the hide and seek championship. He hides for 5 years and seek your vote when election call. This invisible representation can no longer satisfy the needs of the people of Christchurch West Central. And I am here to say enough is enough. So whenever Frandel decides to wake up from his long slumber, whenever he decides that he finished politically hibernate, ladies and gentlemen, and call the election, I want you to know that Medic is here to the rescue. Medic is here to rescue this constituency. Medic is here to rebuild this constituency. And Medic is here to restore confidence in this constituency. And I will do it, ladies and gentlemen, with the backing of a young lady who I call the 9th wonder of the world. A lady by the name of Mia Amamoli. Ladies and gentlemen, I will give you a story to tell you about the fortitude of this young lady. One night I called her after 1 o'clock with a problem I had. And I says, she said me, Adrian, why you want to call me earlier and discuss this with me? I says, Mia, I don't want to burden you. You know what was her reply? I says, Mia, you have 250,000 people to burden and to deal with. You don't need an additional stress. She says, burden? It is a privilege. She said it was a privilege. And a privilege to serve this country, even if it's 250 persons to shoulder that, man. This is the fortitude of the lady that is seeking to represent this country as the next Prime Minister of Barbados, man. Ladies and gentlemen, at my nomination, I said, in the words of Lionel Richie, she's not once, twice, she's 3 times a lady. Today, I go a little further. I will say in the words of Trey that she is just simply amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a political dying here. We have a diamond that we can cherish in the name of Mia Motley, who has been tried, who has been tested, and who has been proven, ladies and gentlemen. And who ultimately cares about each and every one of you. And who is going to bring Barbados from the darkness of this Democratic Labour Party administration, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, when I come tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I come here with a heavy heart for the loss of lives in my constituency. And when I talk about loss of lives, it hurt me, and it hurt me personally. We have persons like my good friend Marley, and this is people, ladies and gentlemen, that went to school with me. I am saying today, put down the guns and take up the tools of empowerment, and that is why we are here. Put down the knives. I am saying that reflecting on the loss of my good friend Lays. And I am saying that when I sit down and study Marvin, who lost his life, an uncle. And I have to give my sympathy again to Kathy. Because a couple of years earlier, she lost Kobe as well. And I'm saying all to violence. But my answer is that the devil find work for idle hands. Let us empower these young people with tools. And the redundant effect is that it helps every single person in this country. It helps the persons in Tino Terrace. It helps those in Warner's Garden, because when they canvass, and trust me, the persons in those areas, they want representation too. And when they canvass them, the first thing they tell me is, you are the first politician I ever walked the streets. And I understand their concerns about violence in their neighborhoods. I understand their concerns as it relates to garbage collection. I understand their concerns as it relates to debushing. But if we have strong economic prudence, and we have integrity and anti-corruption laws, we will find the money to fix the ills. We will find the money to incentivize a police force that can do their jobs, who don't have to go work and worry about fungi infection in the air conditions and the water that has bacteria. That is what we will do in this Barbados Labour Party. We will put back the spirit in Barbados, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that we have a team for the times. We have Kurt Humphrey, ladies and gentlemen. My name is my friend Kurt, man. Who understands social policy, who understands how to marry the community with the economy. We have Marshall Cattle, who understands human and social economics, and who is able to conflate them in a special way, and who has a dream to develop this country. We have Neil Rowe, a philanthropist of sorts, who have worked with the needy in his constituency. We have a team ready and willing to serve this country, ladies and gentlemen. We have the right team for the right times, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm telling you today, and I want to leave you, ladies and gentlemen, because we had earlier in the year, we had the anointment of a female director of public prosecution by the name of Donna Bobby Agar QC. We had, ladies and gentlemen, the second female governor general in the name of Dame Sandra Mason. And ladies and gentlemen, whenever the bell rings, we will have the first female prime minister in the name of Nia Amma Motley. And just as TC is the people's champion in Calypso, Mia Motley is the people's champion for Barbados. And I can leave you in the words of TC when she says to put a woman in front, put a woman in front, put a woman in front to lead this country. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you and goodbye.
The next parliamentary representative for the constituency of Christchurch West Central, Adrian Medic Forde. He made me proud. He made me proud. I know he made you proud also. A good man. He is your man. That is your champion, Adrian.